All right, I'm pressing start. What is up, everyone? The commissioner here of the league, fantasy hockey, Who's Jimmy Milstead, and this is episode. Holy crap, is it 12?
12?
Yeah, we're behind a little bit. Yeah, episode 12. Kevin Stork, what's up, my deputy commissioner? It's
How's it
Friday,
going?
January. It's Friday the 13th, man. 13th, 2023. Hopefully, the nightmare is not anywhere near you, buddy.
You know, I should have called him up and asked him to do the show today.
Yeah, I knew it was Friday the 13th, and then I just forgot about it. Right before I hit record right here, I thought of the nightmare way back Halloween episode. We haven't seen him since, so that's a good thing, right?
It probably is, man. He scares the bejesus out of me.
Yeah. Well, he's a dominant fantasy hockey player over in another league, but in this league, we want no part of him.
Well, he might force me out of here next year and take over. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a new ownership. Oh man, that'll be scary for the rest of the league.
Imagine
But,
him
we got to
on
take.
Storksdesk every week.
Oh God, would be interesting.
Might put up the
yes,
ratings.
Stork. Oh yeah, the ratings would get a bump. I never did see what the ratings did for that Halloween episode, but maybe I'll go back and look after this show. So, all right, this is episode 12. Hopefully I didn't mess that number up.
I think it is 12. Man.
Yeah, we're 2 episodes behind because of a busy Christmas and our injuries. Oh yeah, by the way, how's your health, man? I am 100% better.
Yeah, well, I'll say 99.
Yeah, I guess we're all got nicks and bruises here and there, day to day, buddy. But we're in week 14. It's a divisional versus a non-divisional matchup, I should say. Ovechkin versus the Gretzky division this week. And right now here on Friday the 13th, with a couple days left, Stork, it's been all Gretzky division in the scoring so far. The only Ovechkin team currently up is the Texas Freezing Mike Kuznetsov. Jaden Halsey, record of 1-10-2. They have a 14-8 lead on DuPont Pipe Players. But other than that, all the Gretzky teams are up on the Ovi teams. A big pivotal week, I would think, too, Stork. Your thoughts on this week so far?
Well, I'm enjoying it. That's for sure. My team finally woke up. I got a couple of shutouts this week, so I'm pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, I was just looking over your score today. Holy crap, 2 shutouts. That's been pretty impressive.
Well, as you know, I mean, my goaltending has not been good, and it's cost me some games, but I'm getting good performances this week, so hopefully that'll turn around for me.
Yeah. Speaking of scores, Prober Etiquette, big rivalry with the Adna Americans, Dave versus Jimmy. Right now, Probert's pushing all the right buttons. They're up by a touchdown, 14-7. Jimmy's scrambling. You said you have had poor goaltending this year. Well, Jimmy's had great goaltending, and this week he's just decided to not play good. Connor Hellebuck gave up 6 goals on Monday, but he rebounded nicely yesterday. So the Americans are looking for consistent goaltending here in the past couple of weeks. They're going to need a big weekend here to have any chance to catch Dave. Langley Scorpions up 17-4 on Washington Wendigo. Uncharacteristic Wendigo performance right now. They are struggling. Like we said, the Texas Freezing Kuznetsovs looking for their second win of the year. 14-8 over DuPont. This is a crucial battle for possibly the worst team in the league. Jaden trying to get out of that basement. The Nova Fire Brigade, they're in danger. I believe this might be their 6th straight loss or 5th straight loss. I got to go back. Scott Lanham is really had a midseason lull here. He's losing to the number 1 seed DB Cooper right now, 10-8. We'll dive into that one a little bit more. This was a projected finals matchup by Don Cherry, if you recall, preseason. Right now, DB Cooper up. The Wyoming Great Apes, they've had some adversity the past few weeks. A big week for Frozen Norseman. Nick Reedy looking for a second straight win, Stork. 10-9 right now. He's up. And Don Cherry's matchup of the week this week, he went for a couple of teams that are on the outside looking in. A big win by either one of these teams can get them in the lofts. Huma, an impressive week so far. They're beating the Woody Woodpeckers. A loss by either one of these teams is really detrimental to their cause. But Julio up on Mark Wood, 14-5 right now. Albeit we got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to go. Stork, what's standing out to you?
Well, I mean, that's a big game. Huma and the Woodpeckers, 7th and 8th place. So, yeah, as you mentioned, that's a big game. And, of course, Texas and DuPont. Texas is trying to climb out of that basement, like you said, and both of those teams, them and DuPont, they want to win some games here in the second half and maybe itch a little closer to a playoff spot, but they got a long way to go and a lot of wins to get and a lot of teams to climb over.
Exactly. So, yeah, the playoff races are heating up. I think these scores are totally not done yet. It'll be interesting. Before we move on to the show, a recap real quick of last week's scores. Week 13, Jimmy Milstead and Americans had their biggest win of the year. They beat Scott Lanham to add to his losing streak. It was 13-9. Jimmy, though, Scott was making a late push at the end. Jimmy survived 13-9 in the Ovechkin. Langley Scorpions, they lost to Huma 12-9. Huma Julio starting to put together a good mid-season here, trying to get back into the first place race there. He'll have a lot of obstacles to climb to get back in it, but he's doing a great job there in the Gretzky division. Wendigo, before they met you, Stork, they've got a 12-9 win over Texas last week. For a while, this was a great watch. I thought it was going to be another tie. Jaden even had the lead, and he just ended up losing in the end. Typical Texas, runs out of gas on Sunday. DB Cooper continues to be the kryptonite in Dave Snellgrove. His second win out of the 3-game series, 18-4, stomps a mud hole on Dave Snellgrove's Prober Etiquette. But Dave rebounding nicely this week. DB Cooper, the number 1 ranked team, Stork. Wyoming hit a big pothole in the road. The Mark Wood and the Woody Woodpeckers stomped Wyoming. That's a huge win for Woody, 14-5. Josh in danger of losing the first place spot, but the whole division right now is losing except for Jaden. And then the battle of last place in Gretzky, Nick proves to be the better team against DuPont Pipe players. Tim Kelly continues to struggle. Has been out a little bit. I think he's coming back though, Stork. Nick, though, 13-7 over DuPont last week. Anything stood out to you last week?
Yeah, I mean, there were some big games last week. We got teams, like I said, are fighting for playoff spots now, and the playoff picture, it's starting to clear up on what they have to do here in the second half. And the big W is what matters right now. If you want to get into the playoffs, you got to start winning some games if you're in the bottom 6.
The big W.
The big W.
Yeah. So let's go to Don Cherry's rankings coming into this week 14. I have to scroll down here. There it is. Not old Donnie Boy Grapes. He's in love right now, the DB Cooper. They hijack, no pun intended, the top spot. They move up from number 3 to take over this top spot. It's been them and Wyoming that have been flip-flopping. Probert always kind of seems to be in the 2nd to 3rd range. But DB Cooper, Mark Raymond, is the number 1 team coming into this week. Wyoming dropped out of the top spot with that loss. They're number 2. Prober Etiquette dropped from 2 to 3. They're trying to fight back up. So those guys have been the consistent top 3 teams. The Wendigo stay at number 4, according to Grapes. We'll see what happens after this week. That could change. The Americans moved up 1 spot from 6 to number 5. Can't seem to put together any winning streaks as they are struggling this week. We'll see if Jimmy can come from behind here against Probert. Nova Fire Brigade, biggest drop of the week. They were in numbers. They dropped 1, number 5, but they continue to just go down the grapevine here. They're number 6, Stork. Huma continues to climb up. They are number 9. They are now number 7. Woody Woodpeckers stay at number 8. Langley Scorpions, Kevin Stork dropped from number 7 to number 9. Nick Reedy's Frozen Norsemen move up 1 spot from 10 to 11, or 11 to 10, excuse me. DuPont swapped spots with them. They dropped to number 11. And Texas, again, in the basement, but could help their cause out with a win this week over DuPont. What do you think of the rankings there, my old Donnie boy?
Those rankings are pretty accurate. And of course, DB Cooper, Probert Etiquette, and Wyoming have been fighting it out for that top spot all season. And no reason to think that might change. But we have some teams in that range to push them around a little bit in the next few games because they got some games against each other, so that'll be interesting.
Right. Current Gretzky division standings. DB Cooper, of course, they are tied though with Probert. Both teams are 9-4. DB Cooper, you'd think, has the tiebreaker right now. Both teams' division records are 8-2. So both of those guys have 18 points on the season in the standings. Let's see. Huma currently in 3rd spot. They're 6-6-1, exactly at 500. That tie is proving them to be a good thing. They are a point over Langley Scorpions, who are 6-7. Huma, though, 4-6 in the division. Stork is at 500, 5-5. So, but that 13 points is better than Stork's 12. I'm sure this is going to change a lot, though. Frozen Norsemen, 4-9. They're battling for pride right now. Their division record is 3-7. That's where they're struggling. The DuPont Pipe Players are 3-10, 2-8 in the division, 6 points. Over in the Ovechkin division, Wyoming, Josh still holding on that first place sole possession, 9-4. A lot this week if everybody loses, but they're going to want to get their bad hockey out now. They have a 6-4 division record with 18 points. The Wendigo are 2nd place, 8-4-1. Another team with a tie that is proving to be an incentive. Usually ties hurt you in pro football, seem to be help you in hockey. They're 7-2-1 in the division and 17 points. That keeps them ahead of the Americans, who are in 3rd place. They're 8-5. But the Americans are pretty impressive in the division. They have the best division record. Well, no, they're tied. Actually, Wendigo have the best division record, 7-2-1. Adna, though, pretty impressive, 7-3. Where Adna struggles is outside of the division. They can't beat the Gretzky to save their life. I think they have 1 win. So 16 points for Adna. They are 1 point behind the Wendigo. And then you got Nova Fire Brigade on that big-time losing streak. They are 7-6, 5-5 in the division with 14 points. And they continue to struggle. Scott's going to have to get the fire hoses and put this fire out. Woody Woodpeckers are starting to play really good. I think they're going to be a big-time spoiler down the stretch. You're not going to want to play Mark Wood's team. 6-7. They have 12 points. They're pretty terrible in the division, though, 4-6. And then leading up the rear, the Texas Freezing Kuznetsovs, they are 1-10-2, 0-9-1 in the division. They're still looking for their first division win, but they're going to look like they're going to win. They could get a possible second win outside of the division. They have 4 points. So that's the up-to-date standings. Stork, do you see a lot of movement after this week?
We're going to see a little bit of movement. Of course, as you mentioned earlier, next week is rivalry week. So Yeah, we got some big games going on. I don't know if we're going to see too much position changes, but what I do see is some of these top six teams further stretching those leads out. So, like I said, man, these bottom six teams have really got to get it going. In particular, the teams that with 4-9 records and 3-10 records, they got to get it going if they want to, to battle for a playoff spot down the road. Because we still have 9 games left, 8 games left. That's
Yep.
a lot of wins. With the problem though is you can make up wins, but you cannot make up losses. So those losses are going to be a problem down the road.
Yeah, and we're just over a month away from the trade deadline, which is I had it on my calendar. 22nd of February. That's a Wednesday. So we've only had, I believe, 4 trades in history. Do you see a lot of trade movement? I know the Americans have been advertised. They want to go down to a 2-goalie system. Ville Husso, he's been playing good hockey. He beat the Leafs last night, Stork, 2-1. I think his team in front of him lets him down a lot, but Adna's dangling Ville Husso out there if there are any takers. But they're just unwilling to drop him because he's been pretty good, decent goaltender. But yeah, trades will wrap up in about a month. So anybody you thinking out there would like to make a deal, let's do it. So,
yeah, I think we'll see a couple of deals, but I don't think we're going to see any major moves this year. Perhaps next year we might see some though.
Yeah, it'll be a fresh draft once again next year. So, all right, let's get to our featured topic of this episode, Stork. It's 2 days ago was the official midway point of the NHL season. Fantasy season, it was a couple weeks ago for us. But the big boys in the National Hockey League, I believe it was Thursday night, midway point of the season. Let's discuss our Midseason Awards. Who you think is going to grab the major hardware at the end of the year? So I would guess we could start off with the Hart Trophy MVP. I guess it's pretty much always a slam dunk, but let's see if you have other thoughts, Stork. Do you have any thoughts on who your Hart Trophy is at this point in time?
Well, I don't see anybody really taking out McDavid out of that situation. The only guy that might have a chance at is Pasternak, but McDavid is certainly leading the way right now.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, the Edmonton Oilers are continue to be the Edmonton Oilers, but this guy just continued. He made a move on Trevor Zegras the other night. Storky put him in the spin cycle. And I'm playing McDavid this week. He's had a couple of good games. He had a frustrating game against the Kings, but he still ended up scoring a goal. But that team right now, their issues goaltending. Him and Draisaitl will keep the team afloat. Look at them, Seattle Kraken. You know, somebody is not going to make it out of that Pacific, I think. Like the Calgary Flames. These guys are going to want to get their act together. They made it all the way to the Western Finals last year, but I agree. McDavid would still get my Hart Trophy candidate. I guess you could, like you said, David Pasternak. He's been unbelievable. The whole Boston Bruins have been unbelievable. Great coaching staff. A guy like Tage Thompson, I would think, starting to get on the radar. It's not his time. You also got Jason Robertson. You always got, well, I mean, look at Alex Ovechkin. I know he probably will definitely not win it, but an injury-riddled Washington Capitals and him in the goal scoring, he's kept the Caps afloat and got them back into the playoff race. So, but like right now in this point in time, I kind of agree with you, Stork. Slam dunk, Connor McDavid. He continues to put up the points. So we'll see how it goes. I think we agree there.
Yeah.
What's up? You pick a trophy. Let's discuss.
Well, I mean, we can do an easy one, doing the Calder Trophy this year.
Oh, okay. I think it's easy too. There's some people I hear out there that actually think it's a little closer. I'm going to try to find my notes here. Hold on. I'll let you kick it off.
Well, I mean, number one right now has got to be Beniers for sure. He's having a terrific season. Now, there's a couple other players that have had pretty decent first years, and that's Powers out of Buffalo, but he got hurt for a little while. But he's had a solid first year, and of course Mason McTavish in Anaheim has also had a very decent start. But you got to give Beniers the nod for the front runner for the Calder Trophy this year.
Yeah, I agree. I'm glad you brought up Mason McTavish. This guy's been pretty good on a struggling Anaheim Mighty Ducks. I'm glad to see him getting going. This guy, I seen the most of him play in the World Juniors last summer. Still one of the greatest plays I ever saw, batting the puck away defensively from his goal line. They could have lost, Canada did. Another kid, did you mention Kalen Addison? I don't think he gets a lot of love. Minnesota.
Well, playing in Minnesota, it's kind of hard to get recognized there. But yeah, he's had a solid season too.
Yeah, I think he needs to up his defensive game a little bit, probably. But and then you got Logan Thompson. I think I haven't seen enough of him. Last night I watched the Knights game, and it was Aiden Hill. Seems like every time I watch the Knights, Thompson doesn't get the start, but he gets a lot of wins for him. I know that Josh Halsey has him, but I can't disagree with you. I saw Matty Beniers twice in person. He had the game winner goal against my Washington Capitals in overtime. The guy consistently, he's like in 30 plus points right now, right?
Yeah, he's doing okay.
He's a center, it's one of the most important positions on the ice. He's got the 200-foot game going. I just think this kid, sky's the limit. I think he's only going to get better. Did we mention the backup, or I don't think he's the backup, the goalie for Hurricanes? Pierre, I can never say his name. The Kochetkov guy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he's only played a few games, so.
Yeah.
I don't think we could talk about him in the Calder runnings. I think the top three really is Beniers, McTavish, and maybe Powers. But Powers has kind of fallen behind a little bit because he was hurt for a while.
Yeah.
And, of course, he's another guy that doesn't get a lot of recognition playing in Buffalo.
So, so far, both winners are on Dave's Probert etiquette. McDavid and Beniers. He's got a solid 1-2 punch there. So Probert looking pretty good. Let's move to the Norris, Stork. I'll start off here. There's some interesting defensemen out there. What about a resurgence there in San Jose? Erik Karlsson. I believe he's leading defense and scoring. Yes. This guy's definitely found his game. It looks a lot healthier. I'm sure with the departure of Brent Burns to Carolina, this has probably helped him out a lot. San Jose in the Bedard category, as far as the other side of the spectrum in the standings, a non-playoff team. Do you see Erik Karlsson getting traded?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, he is getting a little up there in age, and San Jose has to go in a different direction at some point. And, with the way he's playing right now, boy, would he brings some pieces into San Jose.
Yeah. I think this Norris Trophy race could be the most interesting, to tell you the truth. I mean, we haven't even mentioned the defending champ, Cale Makar. Even though the Avs are really struggling, Cale Makar got 30-some minutes of ice on night. Adam Fox, Rangers, red hot. He's throwing his hat back in the race. You got Josh Morrissey, Winnipeg. This guy came out of nowhere for me. I believe he's on Nova Fire Brigade. He's consistent and puts up points. And then you got Buffalo, another defenseman. I think sky's going to be the limit for this kid, Rasmus Dahlin. But I'd have to give it to Eric Carlson right now. That's my vote.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. I mean, there's some really great names you came out with just now, but Carlson has been more than impressive. And like you were saying, there's a good chance that they may. I believe Carlson has a no trade clause, but
oh yeah,
I'm not sure of that, but I believe he does. But boy, would they get some nice pieces for him right now. A lot of teams out there could use Eric Carlson right now.
Yep, and basically that's what happened to Ottawa. They got all the pieces when they got rid of them to San Jose. San Jose, that's probably the beginning of the end for the Sharks. So, yeah, we'll see. Trade deadline for the NHL. I can't even remember when that is, Stork. Probably around the same time.
Yeah, around the same time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. We're not too far off. So the Norris race, I think it's going to be a great one down the stretch. But right now, it'd be Eric Carlson, and he is on the Wyoming Great Eight. So Josh Halsey has Eric Carlson. Pretty good. Let's see. What do we? How about this one, Stork? The Vezina Trophy. I think it's kind of a slam dunk right now for me. But you got a couple of goaltenders in this one. I'm going to have to say DB Cooper's Linus Allmark. The Bruins got that 1-2 punch. Definitely the Jennings guys, Swayman, but Linus Allmark seems like he gets a shutout every once in a while here. He's going to probably be my front runner. What say you?
Well, he's definitely the front runner right now. He certainly likes playing in Boston. Got to remember the last couple of years he's been with Buffalo, and he was shell shocked. But I'll tell you what, he's seen a lot of pucks in Buffalo, and I think he's thoroughly enjoying the defense in front of him, and he's a good goaltender. So he's definitely having a big season, and could be a Vezina Trophy season for him. But I've got a couple other names that are, maybe slightly behind him. Oettinger is one that he was hurt for a few games there, but he's had another pretty good season. And the re-emergence of Hellebuck, who kind of been a little off the last couple of years, but he's having a quietly good year again.
Yep. I think his big hang up or his Monday was a poor showing, but you haven't seen too much poor showing from Connor Hellebuck. The Jets, I think, have had a resurgence. I think they're enjoying their head coach, Bones there, Rick Bowness.
Yeah.
So did you see that game with the Rangers and Stars last night? Jake Odger got called for a delayed game because his mask came off.
Yeah.
I think they blew that one. Rangers last second overtime goal. I believe Stars were up most of that game 1-0. Yeah, Jake on the Ad Americans. It's crazy how it works in fantasy hockey. You have two goalies and you struggle to pick the right one. And usually lately, the past 3 weeks for Adna, I can attest to this. I have been pressing the wrong button, Stork. I keep starting the goalie that is not playing as well that night. So that's what you get.
That goals against average is going up, buddy.
Yeah, this week for sure. Let's talk about Dave. Another thing for Dave's Probert etiquette, Ilya Sorokin. He blew one last night as well. He had a shutout going against the Minnesota Wild. The Islanders just couldn't hold on. That's just the way their team's set up. They score a goal and then they try to shut it down. Sorokin did his best to keep the puck out of the net, but they Wild scored two late ones. They ended up winning 3-1 with the empty netter. But Sorokin overall, I think he's been pretty much the reason the Islanders are even any relevant to me. They're still in the playoff hunt, but Sorokin, I think, is up there. We didn't even mention, it's hard to believe, but Vasilevsky and Shesterkin, I don't know what the deal is.
We didn't even talk about him.
Yeah. So we're both in agreement there that Linus Ullmark is probably going to win it at this point.
At this point right now, Jimmy, I can't see anybody but Ullmark right now, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we'll see if he can stay healthy. I know he's been hurt the past few years when he wasn't with Boston. But we'll see. So we'll continue to see. I think the Boston Bruins, they lost the other night for the first time at home to Seattle Kraken, but they are still, I know your most hated team, but they're damn good.
Have I ever mentioned to you I hate the Bruins? Or
yeah. Jack Adams Award, another Bruin candidate. We got Jim Montgomery, who's the first-year coach of them. Then the former Bruin coach. What do you think of Bruce Cassidy with the Golden Knights? He's done a great job there. And Lindy Ruff with the Devils. I think he's done a tremendous job. This one's tough for me, Stork. I'll let you go first. Who do you think's the coach of the year?
You can't argue with a team that's only lost 5 regular season games. Jim Montgomery has really got them playing as a unit, the whole team. Boston's just, I mean, we've always known that Boston always ices a good team, but yeah, Montgomery's got to be mentioned. But I've got an underdog that I'm taking as number 1 right now, and that's Dave Haxtell.
Ooh.
I mean, this team and what he's done to this team and how they're all playing into his system, and it's working. I mean, who would have thought that Seattle would be where they are without good coaching and everybody buying into the system? And that's why Seattle has the record they do. Nobody would have, they came out of nowhere. And a lot of that is Dave Haxtell.
Yeah, I agree, Stork. This one was tough for me. I probably have to go with Jim Montgomery with the Bruins, but
it's hard to argue with it.
I think yeah, an honorable mention for me has got to be Ricky Bowness, Winnipeg Jets. Seems like everywhere this guy, everywhere this guy goes, he seems to be a breath of fresh air. He just gets to the players.
Yeah, my only reasoning for that is, I mean, Jim Montgomery already had a great team in front of him. And with Haxtell, I mean, he's taken a team that was an expansion team last year. And, I mean, you look at their record. I mean, it's hard to I like the underdog. And what he's done is just more impressive than what Montgomery's done in Boston. For myself, anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I totally agree, Stork. I haven't disagreed with you on any of these picks. We'll see how it goes the rest of the year. Good luck to all these candidates. So far, all of them deserve it. We didn't even mention Rod Brind'Amour of the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few coaches that, I mean, there's a few that are having good season. Like you mentioned, Rick Bowness. I mean, he's definitely turned the Winnipeg Jets around too.
And I'll throw one more out there. The homer in me, I always want to give a shout to Laviolette. This guy, all the injuries. I know the Capitals have great depth, but guys like Sonny Milano, the goaltending, Lindgren stepped in. Laviolette's been able to keep the Capitals afloat when it could have went bad.
Yeah, we can't argue with that either. I mean, he's up there. Yeah, there's a few coaches having a lot of impact on their teams this year.
There's my homer input.
There you go.
I don't know. I don't think we have too many other awards I can talk about.
I would like to talk about the Selke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for sure. I didn't know.
I mean, we know what Bergeron does. We know that Barkov is definitely an excellent two-way forward. But my run, and I guess I'm being biased here, but I've watched him play a lot this year, especially, and that's Mitch Marner. I
Oh
have
yeah,
never, I mean, what he's doing is just been remarkable. So I'm going
yeah,
to
and you
give
should know,
Marner the nod on the Selkie Award.
man. I'm unprepared, Stork. I forgot all about that. That's probably one of the most important awards there is, and
It is. It's one of
Jimmy
my favorites anyway.
dropped the ball. I'll just piggyback on that. Yeah, Mitch Marner. I mean, this guy, he's been healthy. That's good. And he's on your team, so you would know him best. Your fan favorite team and your fantasy team. So, what's his plus minus like? Not that that matters. I know he's out there for a lot of offense.
Yeah.
Um, he's always rumored to be on the blue line to chip in there on the blue line if they're short of D man. Riley's
Well,
back
I mean,
though.
he is always back in his own end, taking care of
Yeah,
business there. I mean, he's been handling things on both sides of the puck, and he's just, like I said, you sit there and you watch him play. It's just amazing what he's doing, especially this year.
yeah.
So, like I said, my nod's going to Mitch Marner right now,
Man,
and I
I
hope
would
he
have
wins
to.
it because it'd be great.
I'll have to get back to you next show. I've never even I totally dropped the ball in that category.
Ah,
But you know, they they should rename it to the Bergeron because that guy has been unbelievable. There's a couple other
he's owned it,
candidates.
so
Yeah, there's a
he's
couple
owned it.
other candidates
Yeah.
that have been hurt all year.
I mean, here's an easy one we could talk about, and that's of course the Richard Trophy. We got three names, especially for me, anyway, and of course I think McDavid is leading that right now,
yeah,
but Pasternak and of course Tage Thompson are right up there too. So that's going to be an interesting race for the Richard Trophy this year.
yeah. I know McDavid. He's never won it. I think he's hungry enough to. I know
No,
he's. I'm gonna throw my hat in though in the race, and I'm gonna say David Pasternak's gonna end up doing it. That's
yeah, he could.
just my 2 cents. I'll never count out Ovi, but I still think it'll be like Pasta. I think he'll catch McDavid, but we'll see. McDavid, you know this guy's hungry to be a winner. He's having a hellacious year, as always. It
The
just seems
guy's
like
a
he gets,
monster, Jimmy.
yeah.
He's a
They,
monster. I mean, let's face it.
he's
There's a reason why we call this guy McJesus.
exactly. They're in San Jose tonight, so could be a big night for them. James Reimer, I believe, is the goalie, if I'm not mistaken. We also have
Poor
Jersey at
James.
Anaheim. Yeah, and we got Winnipeg at Pittsburgh. So a light night, Stork. I'm looking forward to watching that Pittsburgh Winnipeg game. I picked up Tokarski in net. I believe this guy played for the Spokane Chiefs. I think I saw him once.
Yeah.
I think he won a Memorial Cup with them.
Well, tomorrow, as far as fantasy hockey is huge because I think we got everybody playing tomorrow, so that'll be good.
Yeah, that doesn't happen too often during the year. Probably a couple
No,
times a year, maybe.
but
So yeah,
fantasy hockey wise, that's a big day tomorrow for sure.
exactly. All right, buddy. Well, that was a enjoyable conversation on Midseason Awards. We got the All-Star game coming up. Don't forget to vote for your fantasy guys for the club you love and your fantasy guys. Get them in. The voting's still underway. That's my birthday weekend, February 3rd and 4th, there in Sunrise. So,
Nice.
And I'd also like to plug, I'm going to be coming out with a podcast, Stork, the small package. We'll talk fantasy hockey. I'll get you on there, audio wise. Can't wait to start that. I think my first guest is going to be Denise. We're going to talk junior hockey.
Nice.
We'll probably be that's my birthday. I got to work that day, but the Seattle Thunderbirds will be having a home game that night, and I think we're gonna discuss how good they've been as junior hockey's really heating up out here in the Pacific Northwest. Pretty exciting. And I'm going to try to throw my hat into the podcast venture and see how that goes. But a lot of puck talk on there. And we'll be back, of course, next week with another great edition of the Stork Report, or the Stork's Desk. Anything else you want to talk about real quick?
No, I think we pretty well covered it all. Nice, Jimmy. Good luck to everybody this week in fantasy hockey, except for one, and that's the guy I'm playing. We're not going to give him any luck.
Yeah, Waylon.
I want this one badly.
Waylon will definitely. I'll get the link here. He's not in our Facebook group, but he definitely watches the Stork's Desk. I'm gonna. You got any other trash you want to talk to him about, Stork? Maybe we'll save that for the nightmare.
You know what? I should have called him up because Friday the 13th. That's a day for him, right?
Yep. Yeah. So no bad luck, hopefully, for anybody out there. I'm not going anywhere, so I'm staying inside. But good luck to your fantasy squads, guys. That'll do it for another episode here of the Storks Desk. Enjoyed it, Kevin. We'll talk to you next week, sir.
Right on, man.
Like Badger Bob always says, it's a great day for hockey. We'll see you next week, boys. Have a good one.